server, and I'll hit Twitter in a sec. Happy Family Day. Is it Family Day?
Guess so.
Huh. Happy Family Day to my family here with me right now. Ah, nice. Alright, and that'll be Twitter. Let's go ahead and close stuff out. Okay, I think I'm good to go over here. I got my scratch pad set up. I can flip back and forth between that as necessary. I know it was a big help to the viewers at home to watch along with my math last go around. This I can close down, I suppose. Whoop, there we go. And you too. Just make it a little easier. Summon to Mitchstick White Knight. Are we Professor Layton and the Curious children's card game? In attack mode. So, would 2 matchstick in attack mode just be on fire?
If a matchstick lights another matchstick, when neither one is lit, which one is lighting the other? Well, if they light at the same time.
Well, if neither of them are lit, then how can they light each other up?
Well, just like rub one matchstick, like strike the match against the match tip head. That could probably work.
Now you're making me think about that. The problem is I don't think you have nearly enough runway on a given match.
Well, assume it was a big enough match head.
That's basically the equivalent of 2 cars driving towards each other on the highway, and then the 2 passengers, no, the 2 drivers just high-fiving each other. Like, I've thought about that. You could do that. You'd probably break your wrist doing that. Maybe your elbow if you've got your arm weirdly. But I don't think you're going to quite light a match doing that. Do bonuses? Yeah, we were poking around bonuses a bit last time, but probably not a whole lot unlocked at this juncture. Won't be seeing much till later. You can at least look at the puzzle index, and we don't have local download play, unfortunately. Is Skinny Dig a Welsh name? Is that what we did? Did we name? Is this King DDD's Welsh cousin? It's like Kingston Dididoo. You guys ever going to play Dark Souls? Well, I mean, we are playing the Dark Souls of puzzle games. I don't know. At some point, I still need to play Dark Souls. You still need to go through it too, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played it at all. But definitely interested, just been doing other stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, we probably stalled long enough. our story so far. In the course of their afternoon-long investigation through St. Mystere, Luke and Layton stumble on a rumor about some mysterious kidnappings. The professor has a hunch that Raymond's disappearance and these kidnappings must be connected. In a quest for further details, the intrepid pair continue their search.
You're forgetting a note on the end of that.
St. Mystere into the night period.
In a quest for fur.
The quest for well, I live in rural Wisconsin. You're going to get a lot of that, I guess.
Have you ever considered that those woodland critters should have fought harder against the hunters taking their skins?
Have you ever considered the woodland critters might just be nudists? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I have 12 beaver skins.
Fuck you!
Your country was built off of the fur trade, Tut. You shouldn't be the one calling us out.
Yeah, man. Alright, friggin', what were we even up to at this point?
You can look at the journal and remind you.
Oh, yeah,
I think we're just looking around at night.
I'll just read this real quick. Rumors churning, fear frenzy, top it off.
Oh, yeah, look at the cafe.
Okay. Alright, so look everywhere but the cafe. Got it.
I think so.
We will, of course, start with our car. Oh, cars are illegal. You can't go look at our car anymore.
Also, it tells you what you have to do in the top screen.
Shush. Hello there, boys. Turning in for the night already?
Not yet, I'm afraid. We're still out surveying the town. Layton will have a difficult time hunting seals when Don Paolo has disguised himself as a seal club. By the way, have you seen Ramon around today?
Ramon? That skinny man with the big purple whips? Nah, he hasn't come by today. Purple? But you know, for all his fancy clothing, I hear he's actually quite the way about. He's probably off idling at the cafe. Why not go check for him there?
Yeah, they're purple lips. He's even creepier than you might have been able to interpret.
Oh, man.
Being colorblind. I see. If that's the case, I'd like to go to the cafe right away. Do you mind keeping the front door open a little longer?
Just a little bit longer. Oh, don't you worry, Professor. Another guest arrived to stay the night, and I'm setting up his room. Besides, my door is always open for a dashing gentleman such as yourself. 12 hours later. Right. Let's see. We'll talk to... Oh, were you him? I don't.
I don't remember
half
either.
these guys now.
Oh goodness! Whatever shall I do? What seems to be the trouble, sir? Let's see here. Strong, young, and you look like you have a good back.
Oh crap! It's a block moving puzzle.
Oh, thank heavens you came along. I beg your pardon? I've searched everywhere and I just can't find the thing. Or I suppose I must have dropped it when I was out strolling by the park this afternoon.
Mr. Krabs' first dime?
I would go search for it myself,
but it's gotten dark out.
It is awfully scary out there.
Nothing of the sort. It's just that, well, I'm no spring chicken anymore, and my eyes aren't as sharp as they used to be. So how about it, Sonny? Will you help out an old man and go search in the front of the park for me?
What? But we are in the middle of our investigation right now.
Now, Luke. No need to be rude. After all, the park is but a small ways away. Well, if it's not that big a deal, then he should be able to help.
Well, his eyes bad back, you know.
And who knows, we might actually find some new information to aid our case there. Besides, helping those in need is the duty of any gentleman.
Splendid. I'll wait right here for you to come back. I'm counting on you.
One more detail, please, sir. What exactly did you drop?
My anchor.
Drop? Oh my, now what was it? Oh, that's right, it was my watch, actually. My best wristwatch. Bring it back for me, Sonny.
This guy pulls up his sleeve and he's got like 6 wristwatches up there, all of steadily decreasing quality. Layton would absolutely body these nerds in basketball.
How do you drop a wristwatch anyway? Why were you taking it off?
To check the time.
There's no way we can show our faces in the matter until we find some sort of clue. We must continue to investigate.
I couldn't agree more, Professor.
I'm not saying you can't take off the wristwatch. I'm asking why would you?
Alright, so they've kind of shut town down a bit. Yeah, it actually does work both ways. Alright. Nope.
I'm sorry, young lady. Could you help us? We're looking for someone, you see, and...
I think I was here?
Sorry,
Oh,
can't
no.
help you. And by can't, I mean don't want to.
Jerk.
I barely even talked to Ramon, and I am so not interested in the search. But maybe if you helped me solve this puzzle, I just might, remember something. And just who do you think you are, young lady?
Ooh, Layton getting frustrated.
Well,
I mean-
take off. I assume you take off your watch at like home and then lose it there. So that makes sense. But I mean, like, not when you go places. Maybe in the bathroom, I guess.
Alright, this one is called Puzzled Aliens. From high in the sky, a pair of aliens observes humans using a bizarre object. Perplexed, one alien turns to the other and says, "How strange. The Earthling is opening a hole in a sheet of paper and marking it with a line to show the other Earthlings where the hole is. I've never seen anything like it. What could these extraterrestrial visitors be talking about?" Opening a hole in a sheet of paper, marking it with a line. Is that a compass? Like with a pencil? And no, because that's not showing where the hole is. That's just creating a line around the hole, or using the hole to draw a line. Or I guess circle. Circles aren't lines.
What are you talking about?
Obviously not the answer. Let's see. Okay.
Are you talking about the kind of compass that makes circles, or the kind
Yes.
of compass that? Okay. How how a compass doesn't draw lines; it draws arcs.
Right, and that is the conclusion I came to.
Okay. Draws circles
Circle.
and arcs.
What is a circle but two arcs glued together?
See, when I say protractor, I think of the plastic thing that measures angles. I don't know if that's there's a difference in place.
Yeah, that might be regional.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless, definitely not it. Opening a hole in a sheet of paper, marking it with a line to show the other Earthlings where the hole is. A line to show where the hole is. Hole in a sheet of paper. Okay. Well.
Isn't a protractor just a tractor that's gone professional?
I like that. Let's see. Hole in a sheet of paper. Hole in a sheet of paper. Okay, well, I keep thinking of more conventional holes, like a 3-hole punch or something, but that's probably a bit too literal. What else might be a hole in a sheet of paper? Is an envelope, would that be considered something that has a hole in it? Except you don't really point to the hole in an envelope. Could it be a map? Except that's not really a hole, that's just unfolding it. Could be a
click input answer.
Oh. We have to write a word.
Okay. Now you can go back if you want. I was just unsure how it would even accept it.
You have to draw it. No, okay. Hold a sheet of paper, marking it with a line. Well, I would assume that... We're going to be making the game have to try and interpret more faux Welsh words. I've got my tablet set up so I can at least draw semi-coherent words.
So Welsh words.
Yeah.
Welsh is a fake language. No language that has that few vowels could possibly be real.
Okay, what if it was like a fortune teller? Or like a cootie catcher, or whatever you call them.
I don't think it'd be that cultural.
No, absolutely not, but... What if it's origami?
Hey,
No.
Tut. Hey, Tut. The proper word is xenophobic. Thank you.
First off, it's Cretan. If you're gonna insult me, do it properly. This isn't gonna be a New Zealand thing again, is it?
Okay, a hole in a sheet of paper. I'm
trying to think. Opening a hole in a sheet of paper. Compass might be it. Do we want to risk one of our scant few hint coins just to see if we can get a suggestion in the right direction?
That's probably a good idea on this one. This is kind of vague.
They don't specify how big the hole is. Sure. Here I go. The hole's twice the size of the paper. Even something as common as paper can look bizarre to someone who's never seen it before. What kind of device puts holes in paper? It must have a needle or sharp point on it.
Maybe it is compass. This is a weird way to describe it, though.
Well, okay. What else would we be working with? I can't think of a whole lot else that really works with or does stuff with a that both punches a hole and marks a line on it. Because in terms of stuff that punches a hole, you would have you could have a 3-hole punch. You could have a stapler. You could have
Well, yeah, but the thing is that this riddle makes it sound like it's 2 separate actions. Like, even if they were aliens, you would think that they would say something like they're using a device that puts a hole in it and also marks a line on it. They're not saying. This kind of makes it seem like they're putting a hole in it and then marking it with something else.
That is very true, but I think that it must be some sort of supply that we use every day. Maybe it could be like scissors, or it could be pens, and pencils are an option too. Maybe markers if you're really harsh about it, but I don't think so.
He's rapping.
Come on, this is hard when I don't have a script to work with. At least like your SoundCloud. No, should I just try? I'm gonna just try compass, I guess.
But we'll miss out on some picker rats. Kono ass. It's gotta be Kono ass. Return of the Welsh.
It's the name of my lewd tape.
That sounds very difficult for day-to-day life and probably resulted in a very unusual pregnancy of your mother, I have to say.
It could have formed afterwards. I think for her sake we can hope that that's the case. Alright, I'm gonna try this.
There we go.
Oh! Wow!
Yep,
I'm
that's-
awesome!
Riddle has an answer.
That's dumb, but okay.
Nice work! When you think about it, the alien's description of compass is pretty spot on. Interesting how widely the perception of single object can vary, isn't it?
I think I got that one wrong when I played the first time and then looked it up and then said that's dumb.
What do you mean you're awesome? I mean I'm awesome because I guessed it very first moment.
Tee-hee-hee.
Oh.
You know, I've heard that if you aren't careful walking around St. Mystere at night, you can run into trouble. I bet Ramon wasn't being careful. What exactly do you mean?
I'm saying I killed him. Well, bye. Here's a painting scrap. Now go away. Tee hee 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 hee. Okay. You go there. Yeah? Yeah. No, that's not how that works.
Why wouldn't it? What's wrong with that?
Because how did these...
Oh, yeah,
Those
you're
don't connect. Although I think this is right, so maybe I'm just off here. And this is more like that. Yeah, actually, I think that's it.
Okay.
Anyway, I continue to be awesome.
Luke, my boy, I'm gonna smack that bitch upside the head. Luke, my boy, bitches behave.
Just making sure she doesn't have anything else to contribute. Oh, jeez.
Weren't you supposed to be looking for someone, Gramps? He's like 35, jeez.
Maybe it's like anime age. This place is closed for the day. We can come by tomorrow. This doesn't look like it's gonna open anytime soon. Alright, let's go look for the thingy. Well, hello.
Luke, get me my gentleman's tire iron. Closed for the day. The lights are on. Hey, they're closing up shop, okay? They still have to clean up and whatnot.
Park's also closed. Alright, let's talk to you. Yeah, okay.
Jared lost something again? I think he's getting kind of slow. He's always dropping stuff.
Luke, get my shotgun.
So, what did he drop this time? Let me guess. Was it a wristwatch? Indeed, he did drop a wristwatch. Did you pick it up around here? Yep. Well, actually, no, because Beatrice was actually the one to find it.
Dun dun dun.
Thing is, it was already late when she found it, so she decided to hold on to it until morning. Go to the inn and you can probably ask her for it. So there you go. Now that I've got your attention, could you give me a hand and solve this here puzzle? Dark places give me the willies, but I wanted to solve this puzzle so bad I came out here for help. Looks pretty abandoned. The puzzle is all about stars, see? Maybe you can make sense of the thing?
Maybe he was just looking for inspiration.
Of course. I'd be happy to help you with it.
The biggest star. Legend has it that people used to stare up at the heavens and find images of animals or important events in the constellations. Looking up at the star-filled sky here, try to connect the 5 largest objects in space to form the largest 5-pointed star possible. Connect the stars by drawing a line between them. Make sure that your line doesn't pass through another star along the way. Okay, this seems familiar. Let's see, so I would imagine we would go... No, dear, we're already in trouble. So... 1?
It says the 5 largest things in space, but I guess they could be farther away, so large doesn't really mean anything.
Well, the issue with that is that we are very clearly running through some stars there. So, that won't do. Okay, well, let's look for openings where we don't trundle through stars like morons. Okay, but this also doesn't...
You'll be... Don't do that, that'll
does not
that'll make a
resemble.
web.
Okay, but we could do 1, 2... Nope, we've learned nothing.
This is just exactly what you just
We have
did.
learned nothing here. Okay. Okay, well that one's okay. Except then I have to create a dinky-ass star around that, so that's no bueno. Form the largest of 5 appointed star possible. Okay, well that doesn't run through anyone. That totally does. That does not. Oh, but there's no real exit strategy from here. I mean, there is that, but that, again, we're no longer starry.
You were
Beautiful.
pretty close the first time, and somehow you're getting worse and worse.
Well, the issue is that my first one, well, that doesn't run through any stars.
Yeah, it does.
It gently caresses stars.
No, it goes right through
Oh.
another star.
Excuse me, I totally missed this little man I was murdering. I'm definitely killing a guy there. Okay, I've made the letter A. No.
Can you spell dumb? Because that's what you are.
Let's see.
There you go.
Oh. I can... Sure.
Help me make the anarchy symbol.
Don't do me.
Dummy.
Okay. No. Oh, wait a tick. I don't have to do a pentacle, or whatever. I can do friggin' done.
What
Except,
are you talking about?
except maybe less morbidly obese. But I could do a star with 10 lines rather than 5 lines.
Yeah, I guess.
What do you mean, yeah, I guess? I mean, you mean, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. I'm so impressed that you thought of that. That looks so horrible. It looks like he's...
Well, why don't you just start by drawing a star using the lines? Using the easy way to draw a star, because then you can just make it without that later.
Okay, so if I'm just doing a star off the cuff, it's probably going to look something like that.
You can probably get to that one in the bottom right corner.
This one here? Let's see. So, yeah, that one doesn't intersect anyone. And then, that is probably legal. So then...
Well, what I'm saying is, now that you drew the star like this, you could just trace around the edges and make it the other way. Just like remember the points.
Yeah, okay. So, nah. And...
No, you're not getting it.
you. And then you, because I can't...
No.
Alright,
If you can draw it with 5 lines, then you can always draw the same star with 10 lines. Or can you? No, I guess not, because you have to connect dots. Never mind. It's a trapezoid.
Yes, I'm glad you noticed. I am rereading this, seeing that try to connect the 5 largest objects in space. So,
Yeah, well, yeah, but I noticed that at the very beginning, but I wasn't sure if that was like a trick question and like this is actually the largest object, but it's 10 quadrillion miles away, so it's actually really small.
now they probably wouldn't do Jigglypuff viewed from above sort of trick on us. Or maybe it's like some sort of 999 shit, and we have to. The stars are actually in the ground here, and we have to connect that. No, but
No, that's not a star. That is an abomination.
everyone's a critic.
It also went straight through a line.
All right.
The issue with connecting the 5 largest things in space is that 4 of them look bigger than everything else, not 5 of them.
Well, actually, oh, jerk. Got some sort of Patrick with the pumps going here. Um.
So those 4 in the corner look bigger than everything else, and then there's like a size below that, which is like medium, and
Right.
then a size below that, which is small. So I don't know what the 5th largest would be.
There. Brilliant. No one will ever know. We should probably take a hint, huh?
Okay.
Alright.
Tut wants a hint. Okay, fine.
Alright,
You can help.
we will take a hint from the audience. Dun, 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 dun. We will take a hint from the audience.
We didn't get any coins spent for that. You're not allowed.
It's pro bono singing, man. The prompt says 5 largest objects in space. So,
I was thinking something like that, but like, is the tree? What about that tree in the bottom?
oh,
But that's not
it's
even
not
accurate
in
because
space.
and also it's not accurate because the other trees are bigger.
In space, no one can hear you.
But the other trees are bigger, and the house is bigger.
No. What you can't see is that there's a star supernova immediately behind the top of that tree.
It's not the tree, it's planet Earth itself. Well, that's not accurate either, because then that means then all of these stars are bigger.
In space, nobody can hear Welsh. Yeah, alright.
There we go. Critical thinking is the key to success.
All right, let's hear what they got. You're right. You need to connect the 4 stars to the Earth in order to form a star like the one shown here. It looks like people are still finding inspiration in the stars. I like my
Some of these
trapezoid
puzzles
better.
are kind of dumb. Yes. Hey, thanks a bunch. I can finally go home and catch a few winks. Some of these I have to wonder if it would have been a little clearer in the original Japanese, but
Yeah, actually, maybe that's it.
yeah. Oh yeah, now I remember. Beatrice from the inn was one to find Gerard's watch. Don't forget to ask her about it, okay? Okay, see you tomorrow.
I guess it could have said 5 largest images in the picture. It could have also been maybe the 5 largest celestial bodies shown in the picture.
Well, there's that one didn't work either because, like, is it largest from the perspective of the universe or largest from our perspective? And also, the Earth wouldn't be largest because, like, are you talking about the tree or the? Because the house is larger than the tree was, and from our perspective, but
Sure.
it was kind of messy. All I'm saying.
Maybe we're an alien. Maybe that's how I have to visualize it. We're still those same aliens from before.
Come, Luke, let's go.
I should think Luke gets the bear. We will, of course, immediately check to make sure Luke's not like, you know, I grew out of bears quite some time ago. Oh, hello there, Mr. Bear. Ha 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 ha. Oh, they both like the bear!
Oh no! This is where it gets tricky.
Maybe they both get bears. Or maybe we're supposed to read Luke's as laughing at the idea of Mr. Bear.
But I think this is where the puzzle happens with this, because before now it's just like, which one's better? You put this or this. But like, I think the idea with it is that they both like some of the things, but then you might not be able to put 2 different things on the bed, so you gotta figure it out from there.
Oh, gotcha. Well, it does seem like Layton way prefers or feels way happier about the bear. Just looking at his happy.
Yeah,
meter
that's
go up.
true.
We can play with it a bit, but we'll once more neglect our son and give everything to the professor. Alright, let's go ahead and see what's what. Wait, Deb, I think we're jumping in halfway through here.
Yeah, not quite. I heard word that you found a wristwatch out by the entrance to the park.
I'll check with the Deke after this. Oh, that old thing? Does it belong to you, Professor?
Oh no, it's Gerard's. He dropped it today while wandering about town and asked me to help him find it.
Why am I not surprised? That man sheds more stuff than a cat sitting by a fireplace. Alright then, here's that watch. You know, it figures that it belongs to Gerard. I was just thinking to myself, the professor is far too fashionable to wear this old thing.
So is she Elmer Fudd's wife?
I don't know, I just seem to decide that she has rhoticism and lambdacism.
Alright. Ha ha ha. Thank you very much.
And that's that.
I mean, it's not unfitting, but...
I don't know. I've just was like, yeah, okay.
Ugh.
Whose room should you put the wristwatch in?
Uh-oh. I think I might have forgotten how to get home. It's pitch black out here, and I don't know how to get home. I better just stay here.
So,
Sounds
wait,
like
no puzzle?
sounds like quite the conundrum. A bit of a puzzle, you might say.
I'm pretty sure we're just gonna get rebuffed again.
Eh?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you'd think that'd be the prompt to, well, here, we'll help you home. Or, you know, Luke, this lost man who's terrified of the dark reminds me of a puzzle.
We won't help him at all, but we will solve this puzzle that has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
Oh, so you found my watch, did you?
But of course, a gentleman always helps those in distress. Speaking of which, we're still quite worried about Ramon's whereabouts and should probably return to our search now.
Yep, Saint Mystere is strange like that. Despite his size, it can be quite challenging to find people.
Do people get lost?
Sometimes it
often?
feels like running in a darn maze. Speaking of mazes, you ever hear of this one, Sonny?
But we really must be.
We don't have time for game mechanics. On the run. A mysterious...
That almost counts as a this reminds me of a puzzle, but not quite.
A mysterious bandit is on the lam and trying to escape the police who are hot on his trail. His entrance into this part of town is marked with an arrow. This particular bandit follows a peculiar creed and has vowed never to go backward or turn around. Additionally, whenever he meets an intersection, he will always turn left or right. Now, as you can see from the map, this part of town has multiple exits, which are all labeled A through G. Of all the exits here, which one will the bandit never be able to pass through? Okay, do we... Oh. No, we're supposed to circle a letter. Okay, so... always turns at an intersection. He can turn either way, it doesn't really matter. Let's see, so we could just do this bitwise. I kind of feel like it's going to end up being B. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but that's probably not right. Well, but let's run through these. Okay, so turns left. Turns left. He can get to G.
Okay.
Turns da 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 da. He can get to F. Da 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 da. E. Da 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 da. Nope. Okay. So da 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 da. Then what's the point?
Why can't he turn onto E?
No, he can get to E. So.
Oh, yeah.
The issue
Oh,
is
yeah.
he can't go
Okay.
straight this
You're
way
right, you're right.
because he doesn't believe in ignoring intersections.
Yeah, so you have to go right from there. I don't think you can leave that little loop.
Right. So, okay. So, if we go right then, da 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 da, he gets to A. Da 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 da. Oh, okay, no. Da 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 da. Yeah, he can get to D and C, okay, but he won't be able to get to B. Because whenever he gets to this point, he has to juke one way or the other.
Yeah, because it's an intersection.
And I don't think you can set it up such that he comes... Theoretically, if he were coming from north or south, he'd then be able to juke into B. But I don't think you're able to coordinate it or finagle it such that he's ever going north or south. So, B it is.
Okay.
There we go. Another puzzle solved.
Rockin'. That's right. As you can see from this diagram, the bandit must turn every time he approaches an intersection. The ways he can move throughout town are set. As a result, no matter how he approaches B, he'll never be able to leave through there.
You're a sharp one, Sonny. You know, if you're looking for someone, you should ask around at the Inn or Cafe. As you know, the inn is right by the entrance to the village. The cafe is right at the fork in the road just north of here. We've already searched the inn, but checking the cafe sounds like a good idea. We'll be sure to stop by. Well then, I'm off to bed. An old man needs his beauty rest. Thanks again for your help. Think nothing of it, sir.
Luke needs a rug.
Yeah, so, like, I think you can't have 2 rugs, or if you do, then it doesn't give you as much happiness as 1 rug would. So that's kind of what the puzzle is like.
Okay. For the sake of things. Brilliant! I just love how round it is.
Yeah, I think 1 rug should be more than sufficient. A round rug, it's a bit modern for my taste.
2 rugs? What will the professor put on his floor then? Aww. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. Anywho.
Professor, there's a... Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Professor, there's a cat here. Aw, here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Animals are very dear to you, are they not, Luke? Well, I have just the puzzle for you then. That one counts.
That one counts. I believe that's 8 and 2 now. Cats and mice. 5 cats can catch 5 mice in 5 minutes. With that in mind, how many cats does it take to catch 100 mice in 100 minutes? Well... I mean, that's still gonna be 5 cats, right? Or presumably, cat. Just an extremely, proficient cat. Now,
Yeah. The trick answer is 100, but it's
Right.
not that because, like, if 5 can do it in 5 minutes, then, with the increased amount of time, then they would be able to catch more. So it'd be like, it would take 5 cats in 100 minutes. 5 cats could catch
well,
yeah, it'd still be 5 cats because 5 cats could take 5 times 20 is 100.
yeah. But it doesn't matter because the rate is established at 5 mice in 5 minutes. So the cats, the group of 5 cats has a catching rate of a mouse a minute. So that rate hasn't changed at all. It's still a mouse a minute. The 5 cats still collaborating. They're part of a cat gang. Friggin', who would win the sun or a trillion lions? 5 cats or 100 mice. I think that's what we're working with.
What is it? 5 or is it 1?
Well, I mean,
I know it's not 100, but
well, I was sort of wondering about that too. Maybe the 5 cats like rely on each other. Like, imagine if the sun versus a trillion lions was one of the puzzles you get later. Well, we'll see. Maybe this is what that's from. No, but we don't know if like maybe the cats have to team up in order to defeat the mice. Like we
no.
Well, no. I know it sounds silly when I say it, but what I'm getting at is we don't know anything about the capabilities of the individual cats. We're given that 5 cats have a rate of a mouse a minute. We're not given that 1 cat has a rate of a mouse a minute.
Yeah, but can't you just assume that?
Not necessarily. Again, we don't know the individual capabilities of the individual cats.
I think that's.
It's like.
I don't think that they would be that picky with that to say, "Oh, sorry, we aren't providing this information to you because a cat without friends isn't as efficient as a cat with friends."
No. I mean, I like the image of that, but it's less that. Don't think of 5 cats as a number. Think of 5 cats as a singular unit. It doesn't. You don't have to know like which cat is the one laying the traps and which cat is the one with the people skills. No, it's just granted this unit of 5 cats equals a mouse a minute.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not unreasonable to say that we might have to do a little bit of math in this problem because it already has the red herring of it being 100 a minute. 100. The red herring is it would take 100 cats 100 minutes to catch 100 mice.
See, but when I suggest it's time for math, you say no. But all right, we'll give that a go.
Well, I'm not saying it is one. I'm saying we should do math instead of just assuming that. I'm saying if 5 cats can catch 5 mice in 5 minutes, would 5 cats be able to catch 100 mice in 100 minutes?
Yes, because the 5 cats have an established rate of a mouse a minute.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. All right. But
Darn.
yeah, I guess it would be 5 do a mouse a minute because yeah, it wouldn't be one does. It wouldn't be one mouse does one cat. It wouldn't be one cat does one mouse in 1 minute because that would be. You need 5 in order to do 1 in 1 minute.
Yeah, if we
Okay.
if we assume each of the cats is putting in an equal amount of effort, then the rate would have to go down to one mouse in 5 minutes.
Okay, I get it. So yeah, it's 5.
All right.
How does this
What if the
sound?
cats unionized for better pay and went on strike?
Professor, I've solved it.
5 cats. 5 cats can catch 5 mice in 5 minutes. If the mouse hunt continues another 5 minutes, you can expect a total of 10 mice to get caught. In other words, the same 5 cats catch 10 mice in 10 minutes and 20 mice in 20 minutes. It's simply a matter of how long the 5 cats work. I'm assuming that's not a mound of their kills, but rather a mound of the mice that they've intimidated.
Each cat has a rate of a fifth of a mouse in a minute. Wonderful job there, Luke.
And we got a painting scrap for the ordeal. We'll quick chuck that in. Nope. Nope.
It doesn't have a line on it, so you know it's in the middle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's also upside down, I think.
Face is upside down. I think. No. I don't think that's...
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's not what the 3/5 compromise means. Ugh.
Good evening to you, sir. It's almost my bedtime, but I've got one more puzzle for you. Want to see it? 1,000 times. What on earth is this message getting at? The following is written on a piece of paper you picked up. Heh is 1,000 times henna henna. To turn this strange message into a
Henna,
proper
henna.
sentence, all you need is to fill in the henna with a single letter of the alphabet. But what letter could it be? You'll need to use the same letter for all 3 hennas. Okay. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of Roman numerals.
It would be O or 0. 0 is 1,000 times 0, 0.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. The journal update is gonna haunt me until the end of my days. We'll get there. I'm trying to think if there's any counter offers, but no, I think you've got the right of it.
I mean, I is kind of like 1, but that one, solve it.
That would be 1 is 1,000 times 2, which no.
Like X, wouldn't it be accurate? That would
Oh.
be 20.
Wait a sec. Maybe M?
What?
Because M... Yeah, I think it's M, because then you would have a meter is 1,000 times a millimeter.
That could be true.
I am gonna do that. Can we make the small boy into a chat emoji? Remind me to catch that later.
That's probably a more clever answer than 0, but I think 0 works too. But
Let's take a look. See.
I guess O and 0 are technically different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every puzzle has an answer.
That's right. 1 meter, M, is really equal to 1,000 millimeters, mm. Just don't tell ancient Greeks that M is 1,000 times mm.
Yeah, M is 1,000 in Greek,
Mhm.
so
How'd you
that
like
would
my
be
puzzle?
confusing.
Pretty fun, right? You did such a good job, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I heard that there's a man-eating monster in the tower, and that's why everyone stays away. I'm not silly enough to think there's actually a monster inside, but the place is pretty dangerous. So be careful in there, mister. Anyway, here's a whole bookcase.
I had it in my pocket.
We'll give it to Layton. Oh, hello. Look, Professor, there's a puzzle hidden here. A worm's dream.
Roman, yeah, I guess Roman numerals, but
Greco.
Connor said Greek, so I got sidetracked on the incorrect information.
This worm's life dream is to make it to the center of the apple, complete this slide puzzle, and help him realize his dream. With only 8 pieces to manage, this task might seem easy, but it's probably harder than you expect. Oh boy, okay. Okay, I'm gonna be one of these. I'm trying to remember. I know the trick to these is always to try and get one corner sorted.
I just do them until it works out.
Oh boy.
Like, that doesn't really work if they're bigger, but with 9 channel ones, it's not that bad.
Right. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then if I can just shuffle these around so they play nice. Let me just do that in a rotation a few times.
And the corners make it so that you can different things could be the corner. It's kind of a tricky thing.
Darn.
Like the one you have in the bottom left right now could also be in the top right.
That's true.
So you gotta keep that in mind.
Okay. There's always a trick to doing this. Not quite. No, we've learned nothing here. Okay, let's see.
Try swapping the middle one with the bottom right.
Okay. Let's work our way down there. Okay, so that won't do.
So you'd have to put that one on the right in the top left.
Right, okay. So then I can shuffle this around a bit.
Hey, Tarvold.
Hey, Tarv. Don't you be judging me. I'm just doing the frickin' Final Fantasy 1. There we go.
Well, here's my guess.
Well, we got
I
there.
did it! Yes!
At the very least, those are always freebies for Pickerats. Good job. You've made a little worm very happy. A simple slide puzzle. It was pretty difficult, wasn't it? As you were moving things around, did you notice that several pieces of the puzzle had almost identical duplicates? I could do this one in my sleep.
Hey, as an autistic, I do think Layton's extreme level puzzles might be a hint of a special interest. Special interests are when an autistic person really likes something. Think like a hobby, but on steroids. Layton autistic confirmed. Maybe.
I could see that. I could see that read of it. I'm just making sure there ain't nothing I'm missing. Oh, this guy again. Alright. Hey, Daddy-o.
Hey, out looking for Ramon, are you? Yep, you're definitely looking for Ramon. So, you still haven't found the guy? Listen, streets here are dangerous and that crazy dangerous. You can't go running all over town with a kid. 'Cause that's dangerous. Crazy dangerous. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to punish your poor judgment with a puzzle. But you'll solve it, yeah? Of course.
I don't think we've been reprimanded with a puzzle.
I
WTF.
I think that would probably make the situation worse if it is dangerous. Just saying. Wasting time out here doing a puzzle.
OTTF. Here you have a set of small paper cards. On each card is a single letter. One of the cards is missing its letter. What letter belongs on the blank card?
Okay, so this is something like days of the week
Yes.
or months or something like that. It's not those, but it's something like that. I don't think it's like any kind of...
Well, I mean, STSTENNO.
I'm saying it's not like any kind of thing to do with how the alphabet's arranged or anything like that. It's These all stand for something.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Maybe it's October Tuesday, Thursday Friday, Henna Saturday, Sunday Equinox, November 2. October Tennis Mario game. I forgot about that.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, yeah, okay. So this would be
F.
5. Nah, I know. Wait, can I do a cursive F? God, no. Okay. Oh boy.
It doesn't have to be in one line. Yeah.
That looked even less like an F than all the others, but sure. Okay.
Well, it's because you drew it in the right pattern. That's what I'm saying. It's more to do with the path that you go along than it is about what you actually make. There you drew like the L shape, and then you drew the other one, so it registered it as an F.
I guess.
There we go. Every puzzle
It's not
has
about
an
the
answer.
destination, it's about the journey.
That's deep, man. That's right. Letters written on the paper correspond to the first letter in the numbers 1 through 10. Makes me wonder what that one looks like in Japanese. Probably
Yeah.
pretty similar, but eh.
Well, it looks like you solved it all right. Of course, we all knew a brainiac like you would solve it. If and you're looking for the cafe, it's right there. But it's way past that kid's bedtime, you know? Way past. Besides, the tower could start making noise again anytime, yeah. Trust me on this one, Professor. Get back to the inn, yeah? Yeah! Get back to the inn. Gotta go back to the inn.
We will give the teak bureau to Luke.
But yeah, in Japanese, I would assume it's the same, and they just, you gotta figure out what, kanji to put in there. Or not kanji, but, katakana.
Sure. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and studiously ignore the cafe. See if we can't swoons around town. Hey, so we can. We'll go into this person's house. Hello, person.
Hey, what you want? Start drawing so I can get back to dinner.
So I suppose you haven't seen Ramon, the servant from Reinhold Manor, have you?
I suppose I actually have cheese sticks here. I could just cram one of those in my mouth and talk through it. Nah.
Of course I've seen him. It's kind of hard to miss with those huge purple lips. But I haven't seen him today. Now, if you haven't noticed, I'm in the middle of important business here. Can you leave me alone now?
Of course. Please excuse the interruption.
Where's my book? Where's my shoes?
Look, it's a hidden puzzle. The ham shank. Tetrahedron Trial. The image below is of a tetrahedron that has been disassembled so that each of its 4 faces lie flat. Which of the puzzles should you insert in place of the so that when the tetrahedron is put together, both the red and blue lines continue unbroken from one face to the next? Oh, interesting. Okay. So you have to picture this in 3D such that this point connects to this point and this point.
What?
So,
No.
yeah, it's a tetrahedron. So, like, this side would go flush with this side, and this side goes flush with this side. 'cause
Oh
it
yeah.
folds up
Okay,
into
you're right.
a pyramid.
Yeah, you're right, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so if that's the case, then one thing we're gonna have to reason is that the blue line would go from around here-ish down there. So it specifically needs to be a little guy. I think it might be C then. Yeah, that also stands to reason because there's 2 of these, and they're fairly wide apart. Let me just do some quick thinking. So, like,
Yeah, it would be C with the bottom line connected to that side.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and because then we'd have 2 reds. One red would go here-ish. And that's consistent. That would bring that guy down there. And then this line would connect to there and then run up to there-ish, which is about right for that. So,
Well, wait. can't be B though because why?
Let's see. B, theoretically, if you rotated that around, maybe. I don't think it's B because this point is way too high up on this side. This line would be about there-ish, which is too high to be accurate with this guy.
Okay.
And that's actually true for all of them. We need the one line more in the middle here for the blue. So
I'm really bad at visualizing things in 3D, so I'll leave you to this one. Yeah.
yeah.
Professor, I've
I can't even make a paper airplane.
Oh, shoot. I've never been good at paper airplanes myself. Excellent! Three-dimensional visualization is crucial to solving this puzzle. Yeah, no hints or nothing, just, yeah, no, you got it or you don't.
Yeah.
Done! Let's go find more puzzles. Wait, no, I want to raid this man's house some more. So, does he have anything else?
Hey, what do you want?
Oh, this is the same as before. Alright, enough of this. I wasn't even trying for something there. Let's see, we'll talk to this incredibly angry man.
Ah! I can't sleep because of this stupid puzzle. I've been tossing and turning for hours. I'm going to lose it for real this time if I don't figure it out. Ah!
Find a star. A star the same shape and size as the one shown on the right is hidden somewhere in this picture. Trace its outline below. Uis, okay. Alright, so the trick is, I think we want to start by trying to find a point that perfectly matches that tapered top.
You can almost make one with that one on the right, but it doesn't quite do that on the left corner.
Yeah, no.
But it's something like that.
Suppose probably it's going to be, it might be rotated, so it's a bit tricky. Let's see. This is basically going to be one of those stereograms that's supposed to knock your socks off when you get it. Are stereograms still a thing?
I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, it was kind of a 90s thing where in like kids magazine, supposedly if you'd look at it long enough and kind of crossed your eyes, you could see a hidden message appear.
Is it that on the left? I think I see it.
Where on
That yeah, you're in the middle of it. That's the left point on it.
Oh, I see. So that
Yeah.
So oh boy.
Not quite. You want to incorporate that black line on the right point.
So Oop. No, hold on. Hold on. So, okay, so...
And also, I don't think you want to do... Yeah, I don't think you want to draw it like that. I think you want to trace outline. That's right, but...
We can do better.
Well, I don't think you want to draw a star. I think you want to trace a star. Yeah, like that.
We will trace it. Okay, and there, and there. Like
That
that?
should be good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've got it.
There we go. Nice.
Layton's apprentice saves the day.
You got it. Doesn't spotting a star earn you a free wish?
No, it has to be a shooting star.
Hey! Why'd you have to go and tell me the answer?
Didn't we run into this issue before?
I've been thinking up an answer for days now, and you just go and ruin it.
Days?
Thanks a lot, you jerk.
Like, we interacted with this dude earlier. Why didn't he say nothing then?
Talk to him again.
Yeah, okay. Make sure he doesn't have excess flowing rage. Oh. Oh.
Oh, sorry for blowing up on you there, Pally. That was around of me. See, he has anger issues, but he's trying to work through them.
I can respect that. Let's see. Just making there ain't nothing else. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, alright. Let's swoons on over here. My, aren't the two of you up late playing detective? If you like solving mysteries so much, do me a favor and help me with a puzzle, would you? Fish thief. When you weren't looking, somebody came by and gobbled up your fish dinner. The three brothers near this scene of this dastardly crime had this to say. Man, not enough things used dastardly. A. Me? Oh yeah, I ate it up. It was good too. B. I saw A eat that fish right up. C. B and I didn't eat that fish. One of these three brothers is lying to you, but which one is it? Okay, so if only one of them is lying, A is all like, yeah, I ate it. Then B is like, yeah, I saw him eat. So if A ate it, then he didn't eat it. And then B is all like, yeah, I saw him eat it, and that would be a fib too, so that's no good. If B is lying, conceivably, A ate it, B didn't see it, and then B and C did not eat it. So it's probably B. If C is lying, then both B and C ate it, and that unless they all ate it, and secretly all of them are the jerks. And I don't think that's the intent, so I'm pretty sure it's B.
Well, they could all be jerks.
It's true. Okay, well, let's reason that through. So, C is lying. Both B and C ate that fish. That conceivably A, B, and C could have all eaten the fish. But then that also means that B said, I saw A eat that fish right up, which implies that A alone ate it. Unless,
No,
like,
it
we're
doesn't.
supposed to get into some
It
weird...
doesn't imply that at all.
Yeah, well, I saw A eat that fish right up. If that is true, then presumably B wasn't, like, staring at A.
Well, he could be eating part of it and also have noticed A eating it.
Yeah.
You have to think about all of these weird technicalities in these puzzles.
True. Okay, well let's reason through B again. Let's say B is lying. I saw A eat that fish right up. Conceivably that is we're pretending that's a lie, so B did not see A eat the fish. A said, "Yeah, I ate it." And then C said, "Yeah, B and I did not eat it." I think B is the liar if you assume only one person could have eaten the fish, and C could be the liar if you assume all three of them ate the fish. But the question is phrased as someone, so I think it's going to be B because the question suggests that just a dude ate it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright, let's give that a go. You.
B seems like a better answer than C.
I think I've got it.
Nope. I
It
think
was
you might
C.
be right.
I'm so embarrassed.
Too bad. Remember, you're looking for the liar in the bunch, not the person who ate your fish.
Well, it's definitely C now.
You.
Well, here's my guess.
Sneaky.
I did it! Yes!
The liar here is C. A and C split your dinner and each ate half. The answer becomes clear when you realize that if A is lying, B must be lying as well. And no one else cares about the rest of that. I didn't mean to click that. Hold on. Paused it too late. Okay. Reasons. There's also a reason why.
Go to your puzzle index and do that one again.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, you took care of that one in a hurry, didn't you? And here I thought you were just another well-dressed city slicker. Showed me. Well, I believe one good turn deserves another, so why not let me take a look at your fortune? Oh, this will be good. I see a series of inauspicious events occurring during your stay in Saint Mystere. Watch your step. Layton isn't much for modern stuff, so probably Luke. I'm guessing this is like the 50s. Alright, hold on a sec. We'll work our way through this stuff here. Like so. Nope. Okay, so that's definitely that, and we're definitely dealing with a big fat chair, which suggests that doesn't exactly fit. Probably gonna have to futz with this a bit. Actually, that seems okay.
Okay, go to the puzzle index.
Right, okay. So... Solve it! You, big dumb fibber.
Well, here's my guess.
Yeah, man, we're cool.
Layton's apprentice saves the day.
Okay, answer becomes clear when you realize that if A is lying, B must be lying as well. The same thing happens when you assume that B is the liar. Oh, I guess you have to assume I saw a person eat the fish means person ate the fish. Okay. Therefore, the only possible answer is that C is lying, a scenario that only works if C actually did eat some of the fish. That's still unsatisfying, but whatever. Alright. You better read some of this journal stuff.
Our investigation continues even as night falls upon St. Mystere. We were on our way to the cafe through the passage below the clock tower when we bumped into Gerard, who's in a bit of a bind. He says he dropped something of great value near the park, but is scared of venturing out in the night alone. As I always tell Luke, a gentleman's first duty is to help those around him. So we've offered to aid in the search. Deke pointed us in Beatrice's direction, as she was the one who actually found Gerard's lost watch. Poor Deke really was in a bind when we found him. Though terrified of being out in the dark, he refused to go home until he solved a puzzle that was bothering him. I suppose we should pay Beatrice a visit. Beatrice mentioned that Ramon frequents a small cafe in town and that we might be able to find him there. She also handed Gerard's lost watch over to us. As soon as we return it to its owner, we can get back to our investigation in a timely manner.
It's pronounced Beatrice.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Beatrice.
Beatrice.
With Gerard's watch returned, we are finally free to return to our investigation of Ramon's disappearance. I must admit that I'm feeling a bit weary and do hope we will find him at the cafe.
I suppose I missed the opportunity to give Beatrice a very Beatrice voice here. Oh well. Getting there, I suppose. Neat, a telly. I wonder if it still works.
A television? That's nice, but I prefer a good book myself.
These drawers are just the perfect size for me.
Well, it's a bit smaller than the one I have at home.
Goody, a bookshelf. I was just thinking about how much I wanted one. Huh, okay.
Wait,
Yep. Yes.
you didn't check the other thing.
Yes. Oh, yes. What other thing?
The furniture.
The drawers, bookshelf.
Drawers are the perfect size for him. What if Layton also likes it?
Oh.
It's well made, but it needs something on top.
Like a bear? No. He gets the drawers for now.
Why would you need a bookcase at your hotel? How long are you planning on staying here? He does a lot of reading, okay?
Yeah, seriously. Layton probably just slams books left and right. All right, what's your story? Oh,
Yeah,
Giuseppe,
awesome.
he's back.
Hey, it must be a drag having to keep up your investigation all through the night. How about a puzzle break to take the edge off? I've just got a puzzle for a night like this.
This must be Giuseppe Mazzualto, the later years. Monster. Oh no! Oh no! The town is in grave peril. As you read this, a fearsome monster is launching an attack on St. Mystere. Ward off the beast by stabbing it in the eye. For goodness sake, hurry! That? That guy's eye? Or are we spooked by the tree monster? Or maybe the obviously home-owning monster.
I'm pretty sure it's the negative space.
Do you mean to say this sky
Yes, but
monster?
yes, but you have to stab it in the eye.
Oh. Wait. So the moon eye.
You don't see it?
Well, no, I do. It's like this is its back leg, this is its front leg, and it's kind of awkwardly crowing forward and gobbling, and this is the
Yeah.
mouth is the tree. So I stab it in the eye, which is the moon.
Well, that's its mouth. The tree isn't his mouth. That's the space between its mouth,
Yeah. Yeah, man.
and it's got a horn.
Is Nidoking eating this?
Yeah, kinda.
Oh man. So then what the hell's with the zombie looking dude down here? Is that just a normal dude with green skin?
He doesn't have green skin.
Ah man. So would have been messed up by that. Legit looks like there's just a zombie dude too. So then who's the spooky guy in the house?
Bad red herring.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm a Shank the Moon.
How does this sound? Professor, I've solved it.
Well done. It seems the fiend was hiding in the night sky. You certainly gave it what for?
You sure devoured that puzzle. Seeing as it's getting rather, seeing as it's getting late, I should warn you both that the kidnapper that's been. I should warn you both about the kidnapper that's been sneaking about town.
Hey.
Make sure you don't get snatched up walking around Saint Mystere. That'd be a great A shame.
Anyway, we found a painting scrap. And that's about it. Let's go ahead and scrap the painting into our painting.
Don't scrap it. You want to keep it.
Oh, maybe like a scrapbook or something. No, that's not right. You? Okay, so... Well, obviously that's... Oh, so you maybe go over here. You do not. Frankly, you think...
That could be the bottom right corner.
Okay, so if that's the case, then... That's bottom right. It definitely can't be that, so maybe that's... You? That? No.
Like that top left. And then that bottom left.
Hey, actually that does fit. Okay, so then... Oh,
You know, we need a Layton WarioWare crossover game where you solve simple puzzles very quickly. I actually think that Orbulon's is probably one of the most innovative. Orbulon's set of puzzles is one of the most innovative sets that WarioWare has ever had, because those are specifically little puzzles instead of the other ones, which are mostly action games. So that's basically what that is, and it's a shame that they don't do more of WarioWare that's like, here's a different type of thinking. Because usually it's either, here's this broad category of things, of like subject matter, or it's, here's a input method that we're going to make them all based around. And I would have liked to see more that are like, these are all puzzle games, or these are all like, I don't know, these are all precision games or whatever.
No, that makes sense. That's mostly in the first game's Orbulon stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not these are all button mashers, no.
All right, let's see. Professor, there's a puzzle hidden over here. How many glasses? On the top row of the picture shown below, you have 3 cups of juice. Juice, sure. Followed by 3 empty cups. Your objective is to change things around so that the cups are arranged as shown in the bottom row of the picture. Assuming you can only move 1 cup at a time and that all rearrangements has to be done by hand, how many cups will you have to pick up?
1.
The 1?
Yeah, 1.
Wait. Oh. Yeah, you can swap these 2, right?
Well, don't swap. You just pour it in.
Oh. Of course. Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't say that you can't pour.
That's true. What? Wait. How?
So is the implication that hidden puzzles are like little bits of graffiti? Someone carved this whole paragraph and image into the bar wood or something? Yeah, basically.
How does this sound?
Instead of cusses and phone numbers in the bathroom, there's Sudoku. That's right. Pour the contents of the second cup into the fourth cup and then return to its original position as before. This way, the task set before you can be completed in one move.
Easy, let's go find more puzzles.
Oh, sorry, I had my mic muted. Thank you. Whoops, I didn't mean to talk to him yet. Oh well.
Instead of have you seen this cat, it's can you find the cat hidden in this picture?
Like that.
Oh there.
Your turn.
I've never seen your mug in here before. What'll it be, pal?
Oh, I'm not ordering anything. Actually just came by to inquire about a certain matter.
Huh. Not here for the special then, huh? Well, what do you want to know?
Going to the bathroom and seeing I have 12 matchstick written on the wall of the stall with fuck you written beneath it, of course.
Of course.
No one has seen or heard from Ramon, the servant at Reinhold Manor, since this afternoon. We've looked about everywhere, to no avail. It's like he just vanished from St. Mystere. While talking with Crouton earlier, he mentions a strange old man who is said to lurk around the village. Do you perchance know anything about such an individual?
An old man? Right, that old rumor.
So you have heard of him before. If you have any information, anything at all, please share it with us.
Huh. You're not from here, are ya? Thing is, I can't have you spreading crazy rumors around St. Mystere to the outside world, now can I? Of course, if you're a puzzle lover, then maybe, just maybe, I could find it in me to trust you. Whoa! So you've solved 30 puzzles. Alright then, here's an earful for you. I know a fellow who swears up and down that he saw a strange old geezer skittering around town. The fellow I know is Prosciutto?
Prosciutto.
The fellow I know is Prosciutto. He's a wee one, but he's got the appetite of a wolverine.
It's a type of meat.
Oh, okay. Prosciutto. Prosciutto.
Prosciutto. Yeah, that's right. Prosciutto. Do you know where we might find this prosciutto?
Can't say for sure, but at this hour, he's probably at home snacking on something. His house is on the road that winds up north from here. Why don't you go and pay that walking ice box a visit?
Oh, a fancy meeting you here. I've got a doozy of a puzzle right now. It's harder to crack than a coconut. And who knows, it might even have something to do with the case you're investigating right now. So what do you say? Help a fellow detective out, will you, brother?
Help a brother out.
That's all very interesting, but I do believe there's been a mistake here. I'm no detective, you see. Say no more! Undercover and all that, yes? Well, very well, but I know a fellow sleuth when I see one. Us being in the same trade and all, I suppose it couldn't hurt if I let you have a look at this puzzle.
The Town Barbers. A certain town has only 2 barbers in it. There aren't any other towns nearby, so everyone who lives there gets their hair cut by one of these 2 stylists. Looking at these 2 fine gentlemen, which one should you go to for a haircut? Obviously you go to A, because A cuts B's hair, and B cuts A's hair.
Yep. Unless you want it to look like A.
That's true.
And I'm not judging.
I will say, with lockdown, I actually got pretty decent at buzzing my own hair. So theoretically, that's an alternate answer. Is just they cut their own hair, but probably not if they're styling like that. I just buzz it. I would just buzz mine. That's right. Everyone in the village gets their hair cut by one of these 2 barbers. This includes the 2 barbers themselves, because people don't usually cut their own hair. The stylist with the butchered haircut is probably the more skilled of the 2. Meanwhile, I've just gone for the Bigfoot look. That's the other option.
Oh, you've done it! You've solved that monster of a riddle. It was very complicated with its 50-50 choice and all. Simply astounding. Even I couldn't do it. Even I couldn't answer this 50-50 chance.
I suspect Zapone is not very good at sleuthing.
I tried it once and failed, and then I tried it again, and I failed again somehow, even though there are only 2 possible answers.
Reminds me of the Cat's Quizzer. This is Ziggy and Zizzy's Osselfossil. They got 100%. They got every question wrong.
Oh, it wasn't that difficult. But on a more important subject, have you heard word from Ramon lately? What's that you say, good sir? You want to solve more puzzles? Alright, and here's a gem of a tip. Go visit Granny Riddleton's shack, that's all I can say. My detective instinct tells me that another case is developing as we speak. I must take my leave now, but perhaps I'll see you again tomorrow.
Do we just get random puzzles from her?
No, it's always ones that you missed.
Oh, it's awfully pompous of him to go, well, I'm sure you've missed one because you're so bad at this.
Well, that's definitely right on the left. So that one's not right.
Not right?
Not right. That one could be bottom right.
So then that would make this
that can't be there. So no, that one has to be bottom right. Which means that all of that stuff that you did in the middle is not accurate.
Not right. Or it could just be there.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah.
There, that's how that works. No, this was probably fine where it was before. But I have my doubts. But we'll just deal with it.
Yeah, I think that it has a similar color in the top right and also at the bottom, so we're kind of being tricky a little.
I'll sort it out when we get another piece.
Yeah. Journal.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's just since we're already here.
The cafe owner, Crumb, was extremely helpful. He told us where we could find a man who has had a run-in with the aged kidnapper. This witness lives just north of the cafe. I hope against hope that Ramon is merely off somewhere napping, but I have a dreadful feeling that the worst has happened. In any case, I must talk to this prosciutto.
Prosciutto. Just do the rounds real quick here.
Prosciutto's house sits on the road that winds up north from here. You gotta go pay that walking icebox visit.
Again, just
Weird, I have a hopeful feeling that the worst has happened to Ramon.
some more puzzles. Yeah, that's the same as before. Also, I can't help but notice that the cafe is a bar in true 90s Nintendo fashion.
Yeah. And it definitely was a bar in the original, I'm sure.
Reminds me of Apollo Justice and Phoenix Phoenix getting hooked on grape juice.
This game was 2007.
Yep. So by this point, they probably weren't really that skittish about any of that.
I think they still did it a little bit.
Just for the sake of things, I'm just making sure. Why, howdy. Do you often... Yeah, this is the same as before. And just making sure. Nothing. I'm guessing it doesn't update until between chapters.
Yeah. It always says, here's the puzzles you missed.
You big dumb nerd. Look at all this stuff that you missed. Can't believe you. I was gonna check elsewhere too. Doesn't matter.
You completed the chapter. ... But you missed 5 puzzles.
Yep.
Hey, what do you want? Start drawing so I can get back to dinner some more.
I heard from a fellow at the cafe that you witnessed a strange old man prowling about town. Could I ask you for a more detailed account of what you saw?
Ah, okay. I think it was something like 4 days ago. I was on my way home from market when I saw this creepy guy sneaking around. So I took a closer look, right? I wanted to make sure I didn't clean out the butcher before I got there. Close, it was some spooky old guy with a huge sack. No, I had the snack. He had the sack.
It wasn't a snack, that's what I'm eating now.
I yelled at him, but the geezer just bolted. I was like, man, look at that Gramps busted move. You know what I mean? I think that weirdo's the one who's been kidnapping people. Gonna be out at night. Watch yourself here.
Interesting.
Let's see. Just making sure he's not. Also, there's a puzzle. What do you want? Start drawing. Oh, wait. Oh, no, this is the same as before. Fucking chicken, a huge gobble snarf. Those are the worst. I hate gobble snarfs. Well, anyway. Oh gosh, sorry, Professor. It's not that the investigation is boring me or anything. I'm just a little sleepy.
It's gotten late. Let's report our findings to everyone at the mansion and wrap things up for the day.
Professor, look over there. Oh my gosh, is that Ramon? Ramon? Oh,
Whoa!
anime.
Luke! Sir, hold it there!
Right behind you.
Oh, Tartarus.
My word.
Oh no, we've lost him.
Luke, you saw that too, didn't you? No doubt about it. That was Ramon.
Does that mean that the kidnapper killed Ramon too? Ah!
Steady there, Luke. I think we'd do well to return to the site of Ramon's abduction. The kidnapper may have left a clue behind, you see.
Right. Lead on, Professor. Mysterious rumbling was added to your list of mysteries.
We need to go sweep the site of Ramon's abduction for clues.
You're absolutely right, Professor. Professor, look at this.
This appears to be identical to the item recovered from the crime scene at Reinhold Manor.
Do you think it might help us find who's responsible for both crimes?
Perhaps. At any rate, our first priority is to report our findings to Lady Dahlia. Come, Luke, back to the manor.
Chapter solved. After witnessing Ramon's abduction, the professor and Luke returned to the manor to report their findings.
We have urgent news. Ramon has been abducted. What? Who? How? I must inform Madame at once. Madame, something terrible has happened. So, are you saying that Ramon has also been involved in some kind of foul play? No, we can't be sure of that yet. However, time is of the essence. We must organize a search to locate him post-haste. Mr. Layton, what's the meaning of all this? Why do you insist on whipping the town up into a frenzy? The situation has changed recently, Inspector. We saw Ramon being abducted in town. I'm afraid you may have a serial murder case on your hands. We must rally the people of St. Mystere and organize a search. Mr. Layton, last time I checked, this was my case, not yours. It's too late to start looking tonight. We'll organize a search first thing in the morning. We've no time to debate whether or not to wake a few sleepy villagers.
Yeah, clearly, Chelmley has not seen First 48.
While we sit here bickering, poor Ramon may already be... Everyone, your attention, please. Honestly, Matthew, can't you see we're busy right now? What is it? My sincerest apologies, madame, but it's Ramon. He's returned. Returned? But... Yes, after the professor honored us with a visit, I went to the market to do the shopping. Why do you ask? Just what is going on here? There you have it, Layton. Now will you finally leave the detective work to the detective?
But we saw it. We saw it happen right before our eyes. Ramon, don't you remember any of this?
That's enough, Luke.
But no, he was...
I must apologize, Professor Chelmy. It was dark out, and it seems that I was mistaken in what I saw. Now, if you'll excuse us, it's been a very long day, and I do believe we could all use a little rest. I certainly agree. The last thing I need is some drowsy scholar creating a panic in the village. Well, good night to you all, then.
But not before we get puzzles.
No matter how hard I try, I just can't seem to find that special someone. Tell me, Professor, what does an eligible bachelor like myself have to do to find a girl? I had an epiphany the other day. I think the reason I'm alone is because I can't solve this puzzle. Oh, how I've tried to solve it, but no matter how many nights I spend pondering it, the answer eludes me. Please help me, Professor. I don't want to spend the rest of my life talking to my stuffed animals. There's more important things than that puzzle, perhaps.
Make a rectangle. If you want to cut the piece of paper shown in diagram 1 into 2 pieces and then reassemble them to form a rectangle, all you have to do is cut the paper as shown in diagram 2. However, in order to assemble the pieces as shown in diagram 2, you need to flip one of the pieces over before putting them together. Where should you cut the paper if you want to turn the paper in diagram 1 into a rectangle without flipping either of your 2 pieces? Okay, wait. Where should you cut the paper if you want to turn the one into diagram 1 into a rectangle without flipping either of your 2 pieces? Okay, so the obvious solution. So basically, if I'm reading this right, what it's saying is, if you were to cut it here, you would have to flip this little piece of paper in order to make the full rectangle. And we're trying to... Supposedly there's another way you can get around that. What could that be?
Yep.
So, okay. I'm guessing you can't choose it by just saying, oh, well, of course, you cut 2 pieces, and then just style on it there.
What do you mean?
Well, like if
Oh,
you...
no.
Yeah, you get it. You cut like here, and then there, and then you paste that all together.
Well, it says without flipping either of your 2 pieces, so you can't make 3.
Correct. So...
No, the reason you're alone is because you're the kind of guy who assumes that being unable to solve the puzzle is a reason why you're alone. Yeah.
Oh. Let's see. Let's see. So it sort of becomes a case of trying to suss out where else you would how else you would patch this into a single rectangle.
I'm guessing it would be something
Oh, I got it.
that.
It's
Okay.
that and that. Because then
Oh yeah.
you,
And then you can put that in there.
you don't have to flip it, you just have to rotate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Every
That
puzzle
one was
has
cute.
an
I
answer.
liked that one.
Yeah. That's right. Now that you know the answer, the puzzle seems quite simple, doesn't it? Now you too can get a girlfriend.
Oh joy, I'm positively tingling with excitement. With that puzzle solved, I'm sure I'll find a bride in no time. Think of how impressed she'll be at my paper cutting abilities.
Chicks love them paper cutting prowess. Let's see. Yeah, he just says variation of the theme, right? Oh,
Look at me, sir. My shoes cost a month's lodging, and yet no one wants to marry this handsome, rich bachelor. What am I doing wrong? Tell me the truth, Professor. Is it my hat?
it is quite short.
Have you tried, dating? Going out to a bar? Online dating, perhaps?
Oh, wait, this is just gonna be the same as before. Well, a Flora Reinhold. I guess since we're looking at these. Baron Augustus Reinhold. Wait, is Matthew friggin' Reinhold? Is that the big reveal? We'll see.
Bookshelves seem to line every wall of this estate. The Baron must have been quite the avid reader. It's important to keep your mind sharp, Luke, so why don't you give this puzzle a go?
Does that one count?
Debatable?
I wouldn't think it would count just because it wasn't. It reminded me of the puzzle. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It was just him being a teacher rather than remembering puzzles.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, alphabet. All right. Here's a quick and easy one. The first letter of the alphabet is A, and the letter B comes after the letter A. However, the letter you need to worry about is the last one. What's the last letter of the alphabet? Here's a hint. It isn't Z. It's T.
Yeah.
I think I've got it.
Easy.
I did it. Yes.
Good job. The last letter in the word alphabet is the letter T.
How did you like the puzzle, Luke? I hope it has prepared you for tackling more difficult puzzles.
Anyway, let's see.
Inspector Chelmy and Madame have already retired for the night. Ramon is likely off to the cafe. You've had a very hard day, Professor. Do try and get some rest. Good night, sir.
Night.
Yeah, we haven't found any robot parts all evening.
Well, robots only exist during the day, of course. I wonder if we really did just mistake what we saw in the street.
No, I'm certain that it was Ramon. When we saw him, there wasn't the slightest hint of life in him. He may have lost consciousness, but how odd that he should return healthy as can be an hour later. Stranger still is the fact that he seems to have no memory of what we saw happen to him.
Gee, Professor, we seem to have stumbled into the unending void. It's so peculiar. Plus, Ramon wasn't even the first. Lots of people seem to have had the same experience. Any other village would be in a panic over something like this. But Saint Mystere, well, it's peculiar, that's all. There is something very peculiar about this whole town.
Yes, in most places no one would stand for this, but we've seen that Saint Mystere is anything but normal.
Ramon's memory was added to your list of mysteries. Yes? Yes, don't you worry. I'll let him know. Oh, hello there. That was a phone call for you. It was from an Inspector something or another.
From Inspector Chelmy.
He just kept saying that it was urgent and that you should meet him at Winehold Manor at once. He probably wants to talk about what happened yesterday.
Maybe so. We won't know until we get there, though. Come, Luke.
Do you have any puzzles? There you are, Professor. Would you help a girl out? I've got something here I'd like you to look at. I made this Starwing sandwich for my special lunchbox, but the silly thing is too big. Can you make it fit? Oh, we'll check mysteries in sec here. The Odd Sandwich. Using scraps left over from your breakfast, you've managed to cobble together a rather oddly shaped sandwich. How many times must you cut the sandwich in order to make it fit neatly in the container? Let's see. So, is it just a question of getting the sandwich rectangular, or do we have to actually, like, friggin' reduce it to this width so that it would actually fit?
Well, let's try to make it rectangular first.
Okay. So, let's see. Let's see. So. Oh. Why, thank you. Okay, so if I cut that like that. No, that's no good. What if I cut it like this, along that line? Then I could... Yeah, actually, I think it might be something like that. Because then if I do that, I got this little schniblet I put down there, and this schniblet I put there. And then I've got a rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's 1.
Or does that count as 2, though?
I wouldn't think so, because it's a single continuous stroke.
But it says cut the sandwich, and it would be 2 separate cuts.
Not necessarily. If I had,
I guess if it was like a handheld knife, but if you had like a big butcher knife, I guess you could do that in 1 cut.
Yeah, you could. It's just a single.
Yeah. Okay.
Luke, here's my answer.
There we go.
Critical thinking is the key to success.
That's right. This puzzle is a snap once you see how the sandwich's protruding edges fit together. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works too, I guess.
So, like, in my defense, I just baked a loaf of bread today, and I am quite used to chainsawing the bread long ways. So
No, you're right. Or if you just had like a big blade, you could do it in one cut.
that's what I'm saying. Oh, Professor, you're just the cleverest. Thanks for helping me figure this out. I think Luke no. Who needed a chair? Well, let's give it to Layton for now. Right, we'll work our way backwards.
Nice, a bit angular, but not bad at all.
Oh, I rather like this chair. Okay, well, Layton gets snubbed. Let's see. Walking the streets of St. Mystere at night, occasionally a thunderous rumbling fills the air. The noise is rumored to come from the tower, but no one in town seems to know the origin of the sound. Villagers claim that the noise has increased in frequency as of late. When Layton and Luke finally tracked down Raymond, they were shocked to see him being kidnapped by an old man. Shortly thereafter, Raymond returned to the mansion with no memory of ever being abducted or stuffed into a sack. What's happened to Raymond's memory?
To our shock, we stumbled across the very kidnapper whom we were investigating just as he nabbed Ramon and dashed off. We tried to report our findings to the inspector forthwith, but just as we were about to reveal our findings, to our bewilderment, Ramon returned home. Just what is going on here? Today marks our second day in St. Mystere, and I was secretly hoping I could start the day off properly with a little tea, but no such luck. We've been summoned to Reinhold Manor and must hurry over to meet the inspector before he loses patience.
We will, of course, do no such thing as hurry. Alright, you're up to something.
Looks like you fellows are getting used to St. Mystere. But stay sharp. Believe you me, you'll be buried in all sorts of difficult puzzles before you can shout, Stashen Scarfen!
Stashen Scarfen.
By now, I'm sure you've realized you can retry the puzzles you failed to solve, eh? However, have you noticed how some puzzles just seem to vanish before you can get back to them? That's right, you see, that's the way it is with some things in life. Once they're gone, they're gone. For good! But rest at ease, you two. Those puzzles you thought had vanished have merely moved elsewhere. You must seek out Granny Riddleton's shack. It's a strange old building, so it should be easy enough to spot. But don't get sloppy just because you know how to retry puzzles now. There's no honor in laziness. Now that you've got the lowdown on puzzles in town, let me throw you a puzzle your way to keep you sharp. They're gone for good except no. Yeah, basically.
The Lazy Guard. The local museum has an exhibit that spans 9 rooms, as shown in the diagram below. The entrance to the complex is marked by A, and the exit is marked by B. The security guard on duty is a bit of a loafer and wants to walk each room of the exhibit while turning as few times as possible. What is the fewest number of turns he can make while still visiting every room? As an example, the diagram below shows a course that involves 6 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Okay. Oops, there we go. Okay.
Well, you can go straight forward all the way to the corner,
Mhm.
and then turn, and then go all the way to the other corner, and then turn, and then go 1, and then turn, and then do it that way.
So 1, 2, 3.
No. Go all the way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No, not that way.
2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. Let's see.
Okay, you could go turn right off the bat,
Okay.
and then go all the way,
So
and
1,
then go all the way
2,
after turning. Then go all the way after turning,
3,
and then go 1 after turning,
4,
and then turn and go down,
5,
and
6.
that's still 6.
Right.
Um. Okay, go. Start at A and then go all the way. Then go all the way.
1,
Then all the way.
2,
Then all the way.
3,
Then 1.
4, 5, 6.
All- No. I'm not
Interest-
seeing a way to do it less than 6, but
Interesting
I'm
thought.
sure there is a way.
Let's see.
Okay, can you do A to the corner and then go 1
1,
and then go all the way to the other side,
2,
then go down
3,
and then to the other side
4,
and then turn around and go to B. That would be 5.
5. Okay. Okay, yeah. I think that'll be it. I don't know that you can go down to 4. Let's see.
There we go.
Nope.
Guess you can go down to 4.
I suppose I thought wrong.
This puzzle shows you an example on purpose. Sometimes seeing the example keeps people from thinking creatively. Don't get stuck in a rut.
Well, it's gotta be 4. So. Can you... Okay, A down.
What if he makes just a single turn? 1, 2.
That would be dumb.
1. That would just be 1, though. I'm just saying.
I guess. You're gonna be bumping into walls, though.
1. Because this technically represents a single long continuous turn.
I guess.
we go?
Nope.
Frankly,
Good, that's
I'm
too stupid
ashamed.
even for this game.
It was worth the shot. Alright. Shouldn't lose any more peak rats, but what was I suggesting there, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's not fun.
Yeah, it seems the guard accidentally knocked himself out by bumping into a wall whilst trying to do his route in the fewest number of turns possible. That wouldn't even really be considered a turn, would it? That would just be like curving the whole time.
There. Brilliant. Everyone knows that when you're feeling especially lazy, you just pirouette repeatedly around banisters. No,
Okay, can you go A down to B? Okay, wait. A down to B, that's one turn.
1,
And then over one,
2,
and then up,
3,
and then 4, 5. No, that would be 6.
5, 6.
What if you do a little spiral thing?
What?
No, not like that. Spiral around the whole thing.
What, you mean the thing that I originally suggested and that you poo-pooed?
Well, you were
1,
making it like
2,
a curve.
3, 4, 5,
I don't think that's
6.
right. Yeah, that's not right anyway.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9.
There, you solved it.
That's the play, right?
I would assume it has to be 4, just like because how many more could you cut off? But
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I
get
want
how
to...
I don't get how you would solve that. How you'd make that work?
We could pop a hint just to see if there's any hint at that hint.
Fine.
Just so we're not... Whoop. Hello. Just so we're not completely metagaming this. First off, pay no attention to the sample path shown on the screen. Here's an additional hint for you. Nowhere within the problem does it say that the guard can only enter each room once. It's okay for your path to move back and forth through a previously visited room.
Yeah, we already.
One,
I did that with 5, so I
2,
already knew
3,
that.
4, 5, 6.
I already knew that, so pop another hint.
Yeah, okay. As the layout of the rooms and the sample path shown made you feel like all your turns need to be 90 degrees. This puzzle wants you to find the solution with the fewest number of turns. It means that movement will always be in a straight line, but the angle of any given turn is up to you.
Okay, so you do like diagonal moves.
2, 3, 4, 5. Not ideal, but that's the starting point. Okay, so could go 1, 2.
And then you can go all the way to the top and then.
3, 4.
Okay. Something like that, probably, I guess.
Let's see.
There we go.
Nope.
Ah, I suppose I thought wrong.
All right. That's okay. We got.
Well, there's only a few numbers left.
Again, I want to do this semi-legit, so. 1, 2.
No.
So it's gotta be 3. But the
Does that
answer's
count
-6.
Does that even count as a turn?
2, 3, 4. But we just did 4. Oh boy. Alright, come on, me.
But that begs the question if that counts as a turn, because it counted as a turn if it's 90 degrees, so I assume that would still count as a turn.
Well, maybe you're starting from up here.
But the A is not from up there.
Oh. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So you start turn there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's probably an angle by which you get right there.
That's exactly what you did last time, except you didn't count A this time.
Yeah, maybe that's the play, that you friggin' go at it at a weird angle.
Okay, whatever. It's 3.
Luke, here's my answer.
No.
Ah, I suppose I thought
Just
wrong.
put in 2. It has to be 2. That's the
No,
only
no,
number
we have
left.
to do this legit. Okay. 1, 2.
Maybe it's secretly a cube.
We do have a third. We might as. Is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. There's no reason the guard should have to enter the exhibit at an angle parallel to the room.
Boo!
Consider the path.
Wrong. Terrible. It says
I
the A is
friggin'
misleading.
1.
The A is misleading.
Oh, so 1. 1, 2.
It set up false pretenses. You can't change the puzzle from the information provided.
Again,
That's
you
bullshit.
ignore all of this stinkiness, including that arrow.
You can't But the starting position still should matter. That's dumb.
There we go.
There.
Every puzzle has an answer.
We tried literally every number except for the right one.
Hey, we finally got to a multiple of 10 again. That's right. If the security guard takes the path like the one shown above, he can finish his patrol of all 9 rooms in just 2 turns. Since the example shows the guard turning right angles to go from room to room, it's easy to assume that your solution works the same way, even though that's not the case.
Yeah, now that's what I'd like to see. Seems like the training I've been giving you has paid off. Your wonderful technique of process of elimination. No need to thank me. Anywho, be seeing you around.
Layton gets the desk. Let's just sort this out. And I actually think it might be a decent breaking point.
Bit square for my taste, but I suppose it will do.
This desk's neat, but it needs something to go on top of it.
We can't end on that one.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. They'll bring us up to 60 puzzles anywho, so
Yeah.
we'll find one more.
Or we could meet Chelmy at the manor. Luke, we must head to the manor now. We mustn't keep Inspector Chelmy waiting.
You're right, Professor. But I sure wish we didn't have to talk to that old grouch again.
Let's just see what he wants.
Shall me? There's so many people we gotta talk to for... okay.
Still no luck finding the villain. What an odd world we live in. Well, you know what they say, truth is stranger than fiction. Speaking of fiction, I just thought up this little gem. Please give me your honest feedback on it.
How many sheets? Several rectangular sheets of transparent film are arranged on top of each other as shown. The lines represent the areas where one sheet overlaps with another. At the thickest point of this pile, how many sheets are overlapping? Oh, goodness. Sorry. Okay. So this will basically be asserting what is the deepest point, which I think might be this. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this would be 4.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4 there. Which means this would actually be 5. 4. Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's 5. I think it is 5.
Um,
3, 4.
yeah, I don't see anything else it could be.
Alright, let's see.
That should do it.
There it is. Easy.
Every puzzle has an answer.
That's right. This puzzle seems straightforward, but it's quite formidable when you get right down to it.
Beautiful work. But I like to think my puzzles I write into my next novel will be even harder than that one. If you have time, stop by later. I'm sure to have an utterly fascinating puzzle prepared for you by then.
There it is. Finally. Oh, he's a lazy robo-dog. Oof.
Hey, Professor. Looking busy as usual, yep. I got this puzzle I just can't figure out on my own here. Can you lend me your thinking cap?
Cut which one? With 4 or 6 linked rings, they may look like a tangled mess, but there's one ring that, if cut away, would leave the remaining 5 rings connected end to end in a long chain. Which one's the jerk?
Well, let's see what B. Let's just theoretically look at B first, because that's the obvious one.
If we remove B, we still have this as a cluster. Basically, we were looking for, if we want them to be a single long chain, we don't want there to be any points where they're 3 deep.
Yeah, F isn't connected to C, so you can't do B.
Right. Okay.
What about E then?
With E, you would still have 3 deep here.
Yeah. Okay, we know F is only connected to E. So we can't cut...
Oh my goodness. I didn't see how they were layered. That changes things. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
F is only connected to E, which means that unless you can make a chain with the other 5, which I don't see how you would possibly do that, you need to keep F.
Right. I think it would be B then. Because... no. No, not quite.
Well, wait. Yeah. Let's try it. So what happens if we cut D?
Well, let's see.
Yeah, you could probably... I think B is under E, so then you can go from E to C to B, and that would be continuous.
I think you're right. I think it is D.
Yeah.
That should do it.
Very good.
Every puzzle has an answer.
Good job. If you examine the connections for each ring, the answer is surprisingly easy.
Isn't it?
So that's how you're doing, yeah? I can finally rest at night. This thing was bugging me for days. Let me tell you something neat. And by neat, I really mean terrifying. The thing is that I've actually seen the old man with the big sack coming out of that tower up north. I bet you dollars to donuts that he's the one behind all these disappearances. I wonder what he does up there. Wait, no, I don't even want to think about it. It's just too scary.
Who ended up with the bookshelf? I think that was Luke.
Luke, we must head to the manor now. We mustn't keep Inspector Chelmy waiting.
You're right, Professor. But I sure wish we didn't have to talk to that old grouch again. See, they're closed. She probably has nothing. Nope. Oh. Oh, alright. Duck in here. No candles this time. Alright.
Hey there, Professor. I bet you're here to solve my puzzle. I'm right, aren't I? Yeah, of course I'm right.
The longest path. Two boys are playing a game in which the goal is to take the longest route possible from point A to point B, as shown on the map below. The only rule is that no section of the road can be traversed more than once. What course should they take in order to cover the longest distance possible between point A and point B? Okay. Alright, let's see. Something like that.
Maybe, but you're skipping a lot of those longer paths.
Right. Let's see. Nope. Nope. No.
Wait, if you go
Oh, sorry.
if you would have went down from there, I think that would have been longer than the first time you did it.
Like so?
Because this way you're only skipping 2 of the long paths instead of 4, which you were missing the first time.
Yeah, true. Alright, let's go ahead and give
But
us...
I don't know if you can do even more than that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Can you go from A to the corner? Clear. A to the corner. No, other corner. And then down. Down. And then over one. And then up. Not that way. Keep going up from... No.
Sorry?
Left.
So, up
Up.
here?
Yeah. Nah, that ends up skipping a lot.
Mm.
You can go down the right side and then left, then up and hook a right.
Right.
So down the right side.
Oh, right. Sorry. Da-da. Come on. No. Like, that can't be right.
It's kind of hard to tell what's the longest.
Yeah.
This one has 3 of the long paths. So I think we should do it counting how many paths are left. So this is like that. Oh, well, I didn't get a chance to count them, but
Sorry. No, wait. We had done that.
okay. So this has 4 long paths and 4 short paths. So that's quite a bit missing.
Right.
Okay. So try going from A to the corner again. Other corner.
Keep beguiling me with these. Right. Let's see.
Then probably down to just before B.
Here.
Yeah. And then over one. And then up something. Probably up one. No, up one from... Yeah, like that.
No, because there's so much...
Yeah, that's not right.
Let's see.
Okay, so go A all the way down. And then over to the next one. and then go along that path.
Up.
Yeah, up, and then right. No, not
Nope,
into
sorry.
the thing that makes us
Sorry.
lose.
No. Sorry. Oh, I'm losing steam here. Let's see. I think the way we've done it here, there isn't really a decent way for me to pick up lost space. Because, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 8 again.
Yeah, that's worse because that's we have 4 long paths and 1, 2, 3.
It's about a wash.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 long paths and 4 short paths, so that's the same.
Regardless, yeah.
Okay, but that means that neither of those is correct because there has to be one answer.
Presumably. I'm gonna pop a hint coin.
Okay.
When solving this puzzle, many people think they have the answer on their first try, only to discover otherwise. Try to walk as much of the road as possible on your way to point B. Well, that's general advice.
Pretty shitty puzzle. That's a pretty shitty hint. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, on to the next one. The area that the boys are walking is a square that's more or less composed of long and short sections of the road. After you've charted out your course and think you have the answer, take a quick look to see how much of the road you left untouched, which is
We
what you
figured
came
that
up
too.
with. Last one. Starting out from point A, head as far to the left as possible. When you reach the left border, start heading south. The longest path.
Yeah, and then it just tells you the answer.
Look, I'm so good at it. No.
That's nice though.
Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is technically less than before, so I guess this is the longest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
There we go.
No.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Give it another shot. As a general rule, you should try to cover as many of the roads as possible. An example above, it appears that the boy who walked the green path covered quite a bit of the distance. However, as shown by
That was vaguely S-shaped. It can't be a perfect S because that would miss a ton of the roads.
1, 2. Again, as far left as possible, start heading south. The longest path you can draw will form an S-shaped line through the middle of town. Okay, so
Oh, like that. I see.
yeah, because doing it like that gives us
That's all
no
little
long.
ones.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which works up to 4. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Take mid while I jungle. Yeah, okay.
Luke, here's my answer.
There we go. Alright. Now that the
Every
game
puzzle
gave it
has
to
an
us,
answer.
we got it. Nice work. Speaking of leisurely strolls, have you been outside today? If it's sunny, why not go for a nice walk? It is very much not sunny where I'm at.
Bang up job there, Professor. Even that puzzle didn't phase you, huh?
Also, I do believe you will find that Pier is, in fact, quite here. Tum-ti-tum-ti-tum. Come on. Ah, stop being pokey. Hold on. There. I see let Diddy Kong die during the hostage negotiation.
Of course not. You're a pro. Yep, you're a real piece of work, Professor. You know that? Of course you do. You're a scholar, after all. Also, it didn't phase us with a PH. He said it phased us with a F, so you're wrong.
Alright, let's see what furniture exists. Starting to feel like home. It's a good thing I have a bookshelf for these.
Quite a collection there. There are a few even I haven't read. I'll take out the bookshelf and see what he says.
It's a bit smaller than when we get back home. It's a lot of books. I wonder if I can read them all. Basically reiterates the same sort of general idea. Okay. Okay. Yikes. Guess that'll have to do. And painting, we got the last corn. No, we didn't. Filthy swine lie. However. Gah, rats. Wait, no, you get back here. Jeez Louise. Now, please stop that.
I like how that minigame teaches you to be a utilitarian and gauge all possessions based on maximum happiness possible.
We'll have to adjust these. That'll have to do for now. Okay. You got the main parts of the picture upside down. Those look like drapes. And we'll check that out. Is this a firecracker? What's that on the ground?
It looks like a scrap of notepaper. What does it say, Luke?
Well, let's see here. Ahem. It's just terrible. Lady Violet has an awful case of the flu and hasn't left her bed for days. I'm no doctor, so I can't think of any way to help her. What to do. Lady Violet. Oh, this journal must be talking about Baron Reinhold's first wife. My heart is heavy as I write these words. The loss of his wife was completely crushed the boss. If only there was something I could do to help. He walks around looking like he's had the wind knocked out of him. And that's the end. Gosh, Whoever wrote this must have cared an awful lot for the Baron and his family. Well, anyway. Just making sure he doesn't have anything further for us.
Lady Dahlia sure is gorgeous, ain't she? Yep, she sure is. What a dish, what a doll, what a honey. Gals like that are pretty rare, I tell you. Yep.
Almost as rare as this puzzle, you dig? Oh.
Speaking of puzzles, those candies look absolutely scrumptious, don't they? Luke, those candies just gave me a splendid idea for a puzzle. Have a listen to this.
That one counts.
That doesn't No, that one doesn't count because they gave him an idea for a puzzle. They didn't remind him of a puzzle he thought he knew of from before.
Oh, so it has to be a puzzle that already existed, not a new fangled puzzle that he pulled
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
ether. Fair. Candy jars. You have 10 jars filled with 50 pieces of candy each. You then pour the candy into small bags and attempt... Yeah, that's our inspiration counter. 10 jars filled with 50 pieces of candy each. You then pour the candy into small bags and attempt to get half a jar in each bag. Now you have 20 bags of candy. What is the percentage likelihood that there are an average of 25 pieces of candy in a single sack? Oh boy. Okay, we have actual factual math.
10 jars with 50 pieces of candy each.
I would think by definition, it would be 100% since that's just how the math plays out. You have
Oh, it's an average of 25 pieces.
yes.
So it's 100.
Yes, because
The word average is a trick. So,
Yeah, 'cause
if
with-
it was the question was what is the chance any given sack would have 25 pieces, then you'd have to do actual math, but
right.
it's tricking you with the word average.
Right. So, million. 4. Brill. Okay, here we go.
How does this sound?
Yeah.
Layton's apprentice saves the day.
Very good. You had 50 pieces of candy in 10 jars, giving you a total of 500 pieces of candy. Divide 100 pieces into 100, so the mathematical average of this will be a 25 per bag.
There we are. Once you discern what the question is saying, the problem is a rather simple one, isn't it?
Oh, we found the ear. We found his ear. Dun 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 dun.
There we are. The little robot dog is finally assembled. Now we just have to name the rascal. I have a feeling he'll come in quite handy. By the way, Luke, I have a present for you to mark this occasion.
It's a riddle.
Turn off your Nintendo DS once, then restart the game. At the title screen, select bonuses, and you should have a new challenge from me.
Oh, okay. We can mess with that next time.
Now I know you're excited about your present, but be sure to save before you restart your DS.
No!
I have no idea what I just said, Luke.
He's like the dog in Earthbound that gets possessed by the spirit of the game developer. Layton's challenge is the inventor's house has been added to your map. Oh, crap, we have to name the dog.
Kimber.
What, for Kirby?
Cucumber. Cumber. Cumburn.
um, that is a very unfortunate name for our Robo-Dog.
Yes.
Oh wait, you can actually switch between uppercase and lowercase. Yeah, no, we won't do that. Okay.
Me. Meow.
Well, those are lowercase, so
Meowy.
that's technically Malloy.
Malloy. How are you doing, Malloy?
Basically. K-Dog, isn't that a character in Thousand Year Door? Oh yeah, it is. Isn't K-Dog one of the teams in the Glitz Pit? Yeah, one of
Could
the
be.
Koopas.
Well, there's King K, but it's like one of those. Okay. He has two side members. I didn't know if they were ever named. Emilvoy.
I'm sure.
I am Elvoy.
Yeah, that works. That's K-Dog. I'm void.
I am L is real 2401.
Nice. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Okay. The what? What?
He found a hint coin.
Oh, is that what Immelvoid
Yeah.
does?
Yep.
That is very handy of Immelvoid. Oh, he gives me leads. Well, that's handy. He'll give me.
You must complete your adventure!
Oh! Why, thanks for the sub.
Yeah, thank you.
That actually helped wake me up a little bit. Thank you for that. Can you make that... yeah, we'll tweak that for next time.
Well, if it isn't Claudia out and about.
There it is.
And that reminds me of a puzzle. Give it a try, my boy.
Alright, that one
That one
definitely
counts.
adds to the tally. We finally got there. We're now at... Oh crap, I've lost count. 9 and 2. Okay. Weighing cats. There are 3 different colors of plush cats before you. The color of the cat denotes its weight. Examples 1 and 2 show their relative weights. You have 3 red cats and 4 black cats loaded on one side of the scale. On the other side of the scale, there are 4 white cats and 1 black cat. Given this setup, will the scale tip left, tip right, or stay level? Tap the answer.
+2 means someone else other than Layton got reminded of a puzzle.
Okay, so
Whoever heard of a red cat? Orange cat, yes, but red cat? I don't know.
yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I don't think Red Kit is there. Okay, so this is gonna be a mathy one. Luckily, we'll just switch this over for a little late night mathematics. Ta. There we go. All right, so what are we working with here? All right, so if we represent white is X. No, that's stupid. Why would we do that? Henna. All right, so 4 white equals 5 black. Just friggin', oh hell. Black. Jeez Louise.
The lid.
The lid.
The lid.
And 1 white plus 2 black equals 3 red. So oh wait, we don't actually have to do a whole lot of mathy stuff because we can equate this to this, which means that this is up top of that. So this is equal to white plus 6 black versus 4 white and 1 black. And since we know that 4 white is equal to 5 black, then this turns into white plus 6 black equals 6 black. So obviously, this side is cooler, so it'll tilt left.
Yeah.
Haha! No math required.
Just substitution.
Just substitution. Scale will tilp. Goodness sakes. Left.
How does this sound?
Rockin'.
I did it! Yes!
Excellent. If you replace the red and white cats with the black ones, this puzzle becomes much simpler. Once you make the replacement, you'll have 6 black cats on the right and 6 black cats plus a white one on the left. Thus the scale must tip to the left. Cheers.
Once you realize how you need to look at things, it's not a terribly difficult problem, now is it?
Another paint and scrap, waiting cats. I guess we'll go ahead and hoozle-floozle this bloozle.
Hoozle floozle that bloozle indeed.
Okay, so we're thinking that this might actually be all some horrible mistake and it's actually all upside down.
I don't think so. It looked better the other way, I gotta admit. But maybe. Yeah.
Now it's abstract. Well,
I don't think it looks better personally, but
friggin' heck? Just get all those pieces up there. Jeez, okay. That's definitely a person's feet, so that should go down there. Or maybe there. Maybe there. Do the edges deliberately not match up?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think we're now upside down.
I definitely think this is upside down. That looks like a person or something on the left.
Well, it's entirely possible this is a picture of Australia. There. Be beautiful. Lovely. Oh, okay. We can also clean that up later, too. Alright. Let's see what's what. Alright. What happened?
Are you trying to poison me? What are these vile things? You oafsome butler, you are. I'm so sorry, sir.
We're not supposed to see them in profile. That's... well, whatever.
I detest sweets. The very sight of them turns my stomach. Get that plate out of here at once. Oh, yes. But of course. You don't have to eat it. Hmm?
I do love the enviable march of progress Enlightenment thinkers before the Industrial Revolution. Oof. Oof. That hurts.
Ah, Layton, there you are.
Well, enviable works too. You requested our presence, Inspector Shelmy.
My sources tell me you've been out snooping about and interfering in my case. Just what are you up to?
It certainly wasn't my intention to interfere in your case. However, a few things don't make sense.
Leave the investigating to the police and go chase after that golden apple or whatever it is. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. I'll find Simon's killer, of that you can be sure. Now, unless you have something else to say, I've got work to do here.
Understood. Good day, sir.
That inspector has some nerve dismissing us like that. Like I said before, I don't like him one bit.
What do you say we go ask Ramon about yesterday, Luke? Okay, we can stop there now.
Alright.
Check the journal, I guess, and then we can stop.
Okay. No sweets.
The inspector had a few sharp words for us when we showed up, doubtless because we've been conducting an investigation that runs parallel to his own. As much as I'd like to help find Simon's killer, there are other matters we should attend to first, namely checking in on Ramon to see what, if anything, he remembers of last night.
Alright. Let's go ahead and save the video game. Rockin'. Alright. That'll do it for tonight, folks. Thank you super much for joining. Hope y'all had fun. And we'll continue this. We'll continue this next time.
Yep. See you next time.
This is what you've
We're
gotten
gonna look at bonuses next week.
Yes. Right now, I very much need to go to bed. But we will start next sesh taking a look at it.
Yeah, we'll keep it as a surprise.
There we go. Well, that's the hook for all you viewers at
Yeah.
home to tune in next
Yeah,
week.
look at our bonus.
That's all the people from across the lands come to see our bonus. That's what we're here for.
It's a bonus bonanza,
Yeah.
a bonus brouhaha, and other Donkey Kong Country levels.
Da-da-da-da. Okay.
Da 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 da
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. All right. Good night. Get out of here. Go
Goodbye.
away. Bye.